Hello, YouTube. So, I think if no one could tell through the communities that I mostly interact with, or the few videos I have uploaded, aka the one video I've uploaded on homophobia in the black community, I am a leftist. Not only am I a leftist, I am a Marxist, kind of socialist. I believe in Marxist theory, okay? And with that being said, we're going to be doing a what kind of socialist or communist are you quiz. Think of this as like a political compass, but a little less fucking cringe. I saw it floating around on Twitter. I did it very slightly. I kind of liked the questions. I thought it was decent. So let's do it. Let's get into it. And I will be linking this quiz in the description of this video. I am recording, right? Yes, I am. I just showed my entire OBS. You know what? It's not like I doxed myself. So, I will be linking this quiz in the description. And let's get into it. How does your system come into place? Realistically, if I wanted to put in a system, I do not like revolution as a concept, because I think mass destabilization of systems will mass rapid destabilization of systems only leaves a power vacuum, and that power vacuum will very easily be filled by authoritarians. We've seen it happen in the past. I don't want it to happen again. So through violent revolution, I don't like. Through spontaneous revolution, don't necessarily like. Through rising up against oppressors, that's a little vague. I'm fine with that, but if it's like revolution, again, I'm not fine with that. Through a series of decisive battles. If they mean physical battles, no. If they mean political battles, political processes, cool. But I think, for me, through mutual agreements or through democratic vote are gonna be the best. And I would say moreover through democratic vote, because that one's a bit more clear cut. Who holds the power? I don't necessarily believe in leaders. In my ideal system, there would be not necessarily leaders, but everyone kind of convenes with, I don't know how to describe it. Essentially, broad social interaction between local groups, and then you could maybe elect people to go to a council to, say, talk shit out, hash shit out, when it comes to more broad policy. But realistically, I want people to be getting the shit that they need. I want workplace democracy. I think that's good, and I think that's the best way to achieve workers controlling the means of production. And I do not like unnecessary hierarchy. So, realistically, I would either want no leader or a generally elected leader. And I would say, moreover, a generally elected leader would be fine in the short term, but in the long term, I would want no leader. How do you handle the economy? So I could either reform capitalist economy, drastically increase production, massive collectivism, complete control of some industries by the government, mutually agreed upon prices in a self-regulated market. I have not heard any arguments as to this one. Any particular arguments that have stuck with me. If anyone wants to talk to me about that, cordially just DM me. Links in the description to both my Twitter and my Discord. I'm fine with talking about that. But realistically, I would want some systems to be completely controlled by the government and other things to be democratically controlled by workers. So, and mostly these are going to be systems that are not malleable to market demands. So if it's, say, healthcare, a market that will always have high demand and thus can always garner high prices from the people that set it, I think the government should completely control that industry. And when it comes to something like housing, something like food, I think there should be heavy partial control from a body that would allow people to, draw from that if they need and to have a bit of variety. And then say if someone wants like a very specific food stuff, I think they should have the ability to buy that. And I think wherever they're buying that from should either be, say, an individual, like a fucking farmer's market, or it should be a democratically run company. I think that would be based. Leader or theorist? That one is a little vague. Not really vague. Realistically, you would want someone that can both lead but can also develop their own. It's weird with this one. So I'm just gonna, if it's asking who I prefer, do I prefer a strong leader or a stronger theorist? I prefer stronger theorist, but when it comes to actual government, you have to have someone that can lead in an actual government instead of just someone who sits around and fucking philosophizes. As much as I love philosophizing. Political affiliation. I haven't read up on anarchist theory, so I'm not going to commit to anarchist theory. But I'm going to say socialist. I just want I want unnecessary hierarchy to be eliminated. I wouldn't call that anarchist theory out of fear that I might get yelled at by someone who's actually read anarchist theory, because I haven't read anarchist theory. But I do intend to once the fucking school year ends, because that's rough. What country am I from? America. What class are you really? Proletariat. I am not bourgeois. I work at a grocery store. I am currently streaming off of a Surface Go, which was a gracious gift for Christmas. I am not bourgeois. I do not own property that people work out of. I am not a capitalist. I'm proletariat. Were you exiled? Never. I think this is kind of memeing on me with that. Revolution is... Depends on what you define revolution as. If you define revolution as violent, then it can happen anytime. But if you're talking about... Because up here it said, through violent revolution, through spontaneous revolution, which, implies action. But if you're talking about revolutionary action against oppressive systems, I would say that has to constantly be maintained in order to make sure that these oppressive systems are constantly being torn down and ripped apart, yada yada yada. That needs to happen. What do you think of violence? Violence is in everything that happens in any system ever. Violence doesn't just refer to physical violence. It can refer to, say, you will work or you will starve, as it is in our current system. It can refer to being stranded on a desert island and there are only 2 survivors and the other survivor wakes up before you and they've gathered all of the coconut trees on... all of the coconuts on all of the coconut trees, and they say that you will allow you the coconuts, which are the only food source on the island, if they throat your cock. That is violence. That is a bit coercive, and that coercion is a little fucking violent. Because, you will starve if you don't throat their cock. So, I'm okay with violence, but it isn't the tool that I would primarily want to use. I don't want to threaten people with forms of violence as my primary means to promoting my ideology. I'd prefer to point out to them, say, hey, look at this. This is really fucked up. Maybe you could, you know, agitate against that. I don't want to promote violence. And I don't want to use violence to promote my ideas, but I can acknowledge the necessity of violence sometimes, so I'm okay with it. At least I'm neutral on it. Okay, submit answers. Who am I close to? What kind of socialist or communist are you? Leon Trotsky. I think I might have got that for the constant revolution thing. You are Leon Trotsky. I even have the fucking glasses. You are Leon Trotsky, leader of the Red Army. You are... I don't have an ideology, I just want rights and a lefty president. True! That's fair. That's fair. You are most well known for your writings, though you do have some political power. You believe in a system of permanent revolution where power from the ruling class is continually overthrown until the government is completely ruled by the proletariat. That is fucking based! Okay, and then my next was Rosa Luxemburg, then Eugene Debs, then Vladimir Lenin, then Marx, then Kropotkin, then Stalin, and then at the very last, Zedong. So, that was a nice little mini segment. I am Leon Trotsky. I know all Trotsky theory. Indeed, I've read it all. I've not. With that being said, if you enjoyed this nice little mini segment, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon. I am trying to become self-sufficient by the time it is time for me to move out from my parents' house so I can just disappear, metaphorically. Links to my Discord in the description. If you want to talk to me on any issue, you can just join my Discord, put in debate submissions, or I might even add a little conversation submissions channel in there, and I can look at it, read, go, okay. I could have a nice little conversation. I don't know why I'm holding it out like it's a fucking scroll, but I could say, hey, I want to have a nice little conversation with that person, and then we could schedule something, talk about it. I'd love to talk about it. I love talking to people. So, links to my description. Links to my Discord. I had a stroke. Links to my Discord in the description, and links to my Twitter also in the description. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.
Do you think some of them should resign? Should Senator Cruz or Senator Hawley resign?
I think they should be just flat beaten the next time they run.